All right, Larry, down there on the course, Carrie Tollison, who has so much experience running cross country. And Carrie, I'm wondering, how are the athletes looking, in particular, maybe the leaders, and how does the course look to you out there?
You know, the girls look great out here. They both look really relaxed. They went through that 2K really fast, but the course is fast. Like you said in the beginning, you know, it's been cold and hard out here, and that's what it is. These girls are running like similar to on the track surface. So they both look great, and I think it's great that Sally's got someone with her.
Now, Carrie, I've got one other question for you. It's awfully windy from our broadcast position, which is up in the air, as Larry mentioned before. But is there a wind issue down there on the course?
You know, we're starting to feel it again, but we had that tree line coverage, which I think was great for the girls to kind of get away from it. But now as we head back into the crowds, it's definitely going to get windy.
All right, Carrie, great stuff. Look forward to hearing more from you out there on the course. As we watch our leaders now, Sally Kipyego, and she's got company. Last year, we did not see this type, and this type of someone hanging with her now as we have the team standings, Larry.
Hey, big surprise here so far. The University of Oregon, which, by the way, has set up on their Jumbotron in Hayward Field the ability to watch this race, and they were expecting over 1,000 people out there to turn out for this wonderful affair here, and they are leading right now by 29 points computerized at the first 2,000 meters of this race. They're ahead of the University of Washington. A bit of a surprise.
Sally Kipyego and Susan Kiking leading the way in the women's run for a national championship. We'll be back with more live coverage in just a moment. Back in Terre Haute, Indiana, as the women continue their run at a national championship for cross country. You're looking at Sally Kipyego of Texas Tech leading, with Susan Kiking now right behind her. And a quick look, Larry, at the course map.
They committed the loop phase in the beginning. This course can best be described as gentle rolling hills, and it sometimes is undulating in a pretty steady way, but there's no real major hills that they have to contend with, but a very solid cross-country course. I think this is significant right here for Kipyego's sake. Her punishing pace is, I think, taking a bit of a toll on Susan Kiking. Kipyego has said, she said, I like the middle of the race, around this area right now. She said the adrenaline wears off, and I like to keep the hammer down and keep pressing my competitors. And she's trying to break the will of Kiking here as we have passed 3,000 meters. The halfway point of this race is now passed, Lewis.
Well, I tell you, it's awfully interesting, Larry, to see Sally Kipyego having company out there, even though Kiking is beginning to slip. Last year, Kipyego was out early and hard and really just broke the heart of everyone in the field. But look at Kiking. They're trying to hold on, trying to keep that distance, but you wonder how long this will go on. The
rest of the field about 15 seconds or so behind as of about a minute and a half ago. And so they are really still astern, and that's been kind of the margin that Kipyego has been able to maintain in past championships here. Halfway through the race, the rest of the field is a good 70 to 90 meters behind her. And you can see that margin beginning to widen slowly but surely as Kiking is unable to hold this searing pace. Earlier this year in one cross-country race that was 4 miles in distance, Sally Kipyego maintained a pace of 5 minutes and 12 seconds over a cross-country course. Really extraordinary stuff. She says she's doing better workouts than she ever has before, Lewis, has Kipyego.
All right, well, for the latest news, stats, polls, and more, make sure you visit NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Sally Kipyego continuing to lead, but look, this is the other story. Always two stories at a championship like this, and all of these athletes out running with a purpose, Larry, hoping to score points for their team and give them a shot at some sort of an award. Now Sally Kipyego beginning to pull away. This is the Kipyego we're used to seeing on her way to try and make history.
This is back about 1,000 meters ago. Slowly but surely, that gap began to widen as Kiking just let loose and let Sally just kind of go her way. And your body in cross country is constantly talking to you and saying, you know, how do I feel? Can I hold this pace? Is this too hard? Do I have to hold back now so I have something left for the finish? And Kiking's, look at her, you can actually see her losing foot by foot almost the distance between she and Sally up front as they have passed at this point the halfway point of the race. people in the middle of the field just running from section to section to be able to cheer. One of the great things about this course is you can do it. The NCAA championships, Lewis, will be held here next year as well. Tasman Fanning from Virginia Tech is in second. Bree Felnagel from the University of North Carolina is out there. A past NCAA 1500-meter champion is Felnagel.
All right, while we have a moment, let's go down and check in with Carrie Tollefson. Carrie, what do you have?
Well, Sally took her first look back of this course, and you know, it does do some in and outs, as we said, these inner loops and things, so she could see where she's at. But Susan is hanging on. As much as it looks like she's losing ground, she's not that far out of reach. So, you know, Sally looks very controlled, but it's still a race.
In your opinion, did Susan Kuiken drop too much too early? Did she give too much? Is she jeopardized even getting a stronger place based on those early kilometers?
You know, she went for it, and she said she's in the, you know, best shape of her life. That was the hardest part of the course there, from about 3K to 4K. If she can pull herself together, we might see a strong finish, but Sally's in a league of her own as well. So, you know, she might be able to hold on and really put the hammer down here.
Carrie, what can you see going on behind those two women?
You know, I don't see too much, although I do see Tasman Fanning. She has not lost too much ground from that 14-second distance that we talked about early in the race, but she's coming around the corner right here, and she's still trying to get up to that second place. So, you know, I think there's quite a long distance for her to reach up to, but, you know, she's still having a great race.
At the 4,000-meter marker was the University of Washington team that has moved up, excuse me, ahead of Oregon into first place. And there we have the top five. Holly Knight from Auburn is in 5th place. And you can see she's 30 seconds behind Kuiken, who is in 2nd place. Tasman Fanning and Felnagel running 3-4 for their schools.
Sally Kipyego of Texas Tech continues to lead, running for history, trying to be the first woman to win 3 NCAA championships for cross country.
Lewis, from memory, I think this is as close this late in a race as anybody has been to Sally Kipyego. Only 3 men in history have ever won 3 NCAA titles. The great Henry Rono, Alberto Salazar, another legend, and Jerry Lindgren. And all 3 of those athletes did their 3 titles within a 14-year span from 1966 to 1979. No woman has more than 2.
Well, let's take a look at those 3 champions that you just mentioned. Jerry Lindgren, Steve Prefontaine, of course, and Henry Rono from Washington State, all winning 3 cross-country national championships.
My apologies, I mentioned Salazar. He had a couple, but he did not have, it was Prefontaine. My mistake there, but nonetheless, we keep it at home in Hayward Field.
That's right.
Kipyego pounding well, her legs like a metronome. Look at them, steady, solid, driving. That's the way she runs. She said, my workouts are better than ever. She said, I cannot train sometimes with my team in the afternoon because of different classes I have and lab work and my nursing major. But she said, my coach, John Murray, has just done wonders with me, and he is just so supportive. She trains also part of the time with the men's team of cross-country runners at Texas Tech. And she said, I wanted to get an education in America. She said, I had thought about that for a long time. I just wanted to come to America. I had some friends that were coming to Texas Tech, and I hoped I could get a scholarship. And the results are she's shooting for her 3rd NCAA title representing Texas Tech.
Well, Sally Kipyego, of course, winning 2 previous national championships, Larry.
This is her victory in 2006 on this very course, and a dominating performance. You can see no one in the background. And look, she had a victory margin there. Last year in 2007 did Kipyego.
And so that illustrates the fact that Kipyego is chasing history, having won already those 2 national championships, and now out here in the lead, running for a 3rd title.
There's some very good genes in this family here.
Absolutely.
As well. Her brother is a 2:14, one brother, 2:14 marathoner, and she has another brother who is one of the world's best steeplechasers. Mike Kipyego has run 8 minutes and 9 seconds this past year. On her team also a young lady named Chipletang Boyd, and she is the daughter of the legendary 800-meter runner, your event, Mike Boyd.
Wow.